this is episode 1 of the Gator Boys documentary series. In this episode, we're going to be looking into how the group started, how everything got rolling, some of the first sort of events that brought the group together, and which members, got put into the group for what reason. So, yeah. There's always been a lot of mystery surrounding the group of the Gator Boys, and I wanted to create this documentary series to clear up the facts from the myths and just let you guys know, what's right, what's wrong, and incite you in on the real inner workings of the group and how everything worked out going forward. So, sit down, take a seat, because we're gonna look into it, and I got to sit down with Buster Whaley and talk about how the group started and some of the stuff that went along with that, and that was really nice because Buster has always been a very supportive member of the group. As you'll see, as the series goes on, he's one of the more calming members who didn't really try to incite anything and start any sort of drama of any sort. So enjoy it. Only happens once that you have a running club this interesting. So during my conversation, my first question for Buster was simply just how the group started. So here's his response.
I guess the ideology has always been there. It's always been a group of brothers working together, racing hard, no matter what. We all have had the love for the game since a young age, and I think the team we've assembled in the past year is really as Reading's finest high school runners, and finest high school runners in the SWC. For example, James Sullivan, a recent addition to the team, he was one of the fastest fourth grade milers ever, with a PR of 6 minutes and 6 seconds at Reading Elementary School. But I digress. When I look back on what could have been, I sort of get emotional. I guess to answer your question, the real start was late June of 2019, the Milk Mile.
What would you say was the most memorable moment from that night?
I'd have to say the way that Massick made their entrance. They drove down Yellowgate by accident, thinking that it was a road. Besides that, the races were very memorable. You've got Scotty being the dominant runner. 5 out of 6 events he won, and he won the MVP by a very big margin. Other than that, I'd have to be seeing Aiden picking up the snapping turtle with his bare hands, facing the urine. That was a great night.
You guys got to go now. You got the shot. You got
It
this.
all comes down to this event.
Sean, you can do this, man. Boys got it. Hey, no, don't drop your cup, boss.
Oh shit.
Wait. Oh yeah, no, you're good. I'll give you another one if you need. There you go. Chug it. Go! We're not letting.
I thought I'd share some thoughts about, what I thought about the first Milk Mile. So, honestly, I can't even believe people came out to race. It was super rainy. Me and Buster organized it, and it was pretty much just like a logistical nightmare. We messaged the Massick Boys XC account, just like, if you guys want to come out for a race, on some night, come on by. So yeah, we just picked up a day, and we both showed up at the Woods Loop. The reason we even had in the Woods Loop is because they were doing construction on the track, like they're relaying down the layer of track, or whatever. So we had to measure out the distance on the watch right there, and I think we were off by a lot because we thought it was a quarter of a mile for each loop around the mini loop. Ended up being a third of a mile, so yeah, it was kind of a mess. in that regard. But we all had a lot of fun competing, and for me, seeing what works and what didn't when managing these events, because I've done a couple of these sort of Milk Mile-esque events, so that really helped, figuring out what works, what doesn't. And I'd say the t-shirts definitely worked. Buster printed his own t-shirts, and they're a big hit for sure. So, after that experience, I thought, after that, I thought, what can't we do, So what better than starting a running club? Well, after the Milk Mile, our next move was to, of course, create the team, like I said earlier. And I remember calling up Scotty after the Milk Mile, because he did great, and I said, how would you like to join our team? And then I remember, it was a bit of a pause, and he was like, what team? I'm already on Barlow. And I told him that I was thinking of creating a running club, and I wanted to know if he would join. And he was all in on the idea. And from there, it was history. So me and Scott thought, what better than adding, people that we know to the group. So, we've been running with them for so many years. Our first selection was someone who perfectly embodied what we were looking for in a member of the team. Noble, smart, and an ape on the cross-country course, Buster Whaley. A very strong distance runner for many years. Buster was and will always be an integral part of the squad. The next inclusion was someone who we thought would, a lot of potential after running a 5:11 mile at 15 years old, Alex Cherkowski. Good runner. After that, we needed a sure thing, someone who was, dedicated, committed, and we thought Sean the Machine McHale would be, an excellent addition. And our rounding out the six-man roster we had at the time, we needed the heart and soul of the group, which was Patrick Williston, and that was the team. A lot of people ask, where did the name the Gato Boys come from, or, some people are just confused by it. But it actually started from P. Will's love for Gatorade after runs. And, of course, I'm alluding to P. Will. And I remember him saying to Scotty that he was a Gato boy. And, the rest is history. And that's the team.